All right. Hey, welcome to Glue Monday, first Monday of June. And I'm also doing a first time broadcasting live on what's called StreamYard. StreamYard.com. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's streaming me into Facebook. So far, so good. Looks like we got ourselves a new platform for broadcasting. I'm going to learn a lot more of the options, the bells and whistles that go with this. But so that's if you're listening to the broadcast, you're watching the broadcast. But meanwhile, and that's also for my Facebook live family that usually come on with me, and I know I'll be seeing them in a bit. We'll see how interactive we can be with this as well. All of them saying this is in the present, but we'll have learned all of this by the time you're watching it again. Meanwhile, if this is your first time with Glue, it's called Glue Monday, but it's born from Glue Wednesday, which is the broadcast I've been doing for about 2 or 3 years, always on Wednesday. And since Wednesday has the cliche name of Hump Day, which was born from the old school saying, Monday to Friday was working and then Wednesday was Hump Day to get over the week, I said, no, you know what? Wednesday is actually the middle day of a traditional 7-day week, work not included. And not everybody works Monday to Friday. I said, so Wednesday is actually the glue that keeps the week ending and the week beginning together. So even as you look at that glue, you see it brings us into prayerful mode. So I will usually have a nice scriptural touch to go with my reading of my message as well. But I also call it GLUE, God's love undoes everything. Not that God's love will tear things apart, but whatever is torn apart, his love can glue it back together. So that's what Glue Monday is all about. That's what Glue Wednesday was all about. And now it has evolved to Glue Monday and Friday during the pandemic. So hopefully that will come to an end. But I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do. See, it's always about planning, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to do past that. Now, I see that they're showing me that somebody's listening and watching, but you know what? The names do not show up in the feed. Comments up. Let me see. Live viewer comments show up in the stream. This is an example. Oh, okay. Let's see if that happens. Comments show up in the stream. This is an example. Click on a comment to show it, but they don't show any comments. Oh man, chat. Okay. Comments. Okay, so far none. I'm learning this new one, y'all. I see. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe you didn't put a comment in. I see a heart up there, and I see where it says 2 viewers, but it doesn't show anything in the chat. Cool. All right. Yeah, 2 hearts. Okay. Put something in the chat and see what happens. Is there a chat? Let's see. We've got 2 minutes to go before our actual this broadcast message starts. Y'all know how I like to do this on the fly, right? Well, we're learning together. Can't post comments to Facebook profiles. I'll have to read that later. Okay, I guess not. Having issues? Yes, I am having issues. Thank you. Okay, well, let's see what it says. It's asked me that. Okay, important. Streaming to a profile. Help. Okay, live comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on the comment to show it on the screen. Let me click help and see what happens. I got less than a minute, so if it can answer me in less than a minute, I'll do it. If not, stream to your own website, Mac. Okay, nope, I'll have to read that up and get back to it later. Very cool. All right, because we got less than a minute to go for our message, and that's really what's important, isn't it? It's our message. So I guess I won't be able to do the stay on board and talk with the audience, but we don't know. We don't know that, do we? We will see what has to happen. Man, this is so cool. Stop cam mic. Let me click that and see what happens. Oh, that might have done something, y'all. Uh-oh. No, that didn't do anything. I'm in trouble now. Okay. Woo, y'all don't know what I did. Okay, it's 1:00. Let's roll. Let's roll. Oh, comments. Oh man, it's got a thing for me to click comments, but it's not showing the comments. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. And I think I've seen a friend of mine, and I'm seeing thumbs up, I'm seeing hearts. So that means that I guess that you are listening. All right. But I'll have to get back and figure out how to get your comments on the screen while I'm broadcasting and whether or not that's even possible. So I'll just go on and handle our message today and get us on the road. Okay. All right. So today I'm putting my foot on the gas, right? The GAS, the Glue Alphabet Series. And if you're not familiar, the Glue Alphabet Series. Uh-oh, there goes Zanice. Okay. It's starting to work. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let me click show. Oh, so when a comment comes, it'll go right on the screen. There it is. Thank you, Sonny. See, bam. And there it is. Yes, we are listening. Oh, and then I can click on that comment to see show what you just said. Is that cool? Now, are y'all seeing that on the screen, by the way? So once a comment comes in, I can click on it and let it show up on. Oh, and now I see this other one. Oh, okay. What is that doing? I'm not going to worry about that because if I click on that, it might too. But either way, now I'm seeing the comments. I see got 2 comments. Thank you, Zanice. I see 2 comments in it, and I can just click on it, and it shows me the comment on my screen. Does it show you the comment? Do you see a comment from Zanice on your screen right now? Okay, there's the question. Because this thing, another thing it said remove from screen. I'm scared to click on remove from screen. The screen. Woo. Remove from screen, get rid of me. Okay, hey Barry. Okay, see, and now it says Barry said sounding good. And is that yes, as in you can see the comment on the screen? Is that what that is, Barry? Okay, let's roll. So anyway, yay! We got us a new platform, y'all. See, you know what? I got to tell you, one of my nephews said to me, he said, you know, Uncle Sporty, I am just real proud of you. He said, because you are an old guy. And I don't remember how he said it. He said, you're an old guy. I don't think he said an old guy. He said, but you constantly are trying to learn new things and get the new technology. And you know what? That was something that was interesting. And I never thought of that. He was proud of the fact that, yes, I'm seeing the second comment. All right. Yeah, he was proud of the fact that I was, trying. Wait, remember we used to say trying to be hip? But you never know how you impress people. That's why I always say to you, put yourself first and make sure you impress yourself. Take care of yourself so that you can see it. I see Barry's comment. Oh, so they must be, maybe it's a slow stream and I'm seeing them quicker and then they end up coming up and you get to see them as well. This is cool, y'all. We got us a new platform. So anyway, the GAS series is the GAS alphabet series. Every message will feature a different letter of the alphabet. And so what happens is when you decide, we know, well, we're up to the letter Y now. So we only got one more letter, Z. So the next message is going to be the letter Z. Now, spoiler alert. Wednesday would be the message, but Wednesday's glue will be canceled. I will be traveling. I'm going to a burial. One of my aunts died, and it's not my maternal aunt. It's one of my families that I'm a part of. So I'm going to her burial. It's not a full funeral. It's just a burial. So there'll be no Glue Wednesday. So Glue Friday will move the last letter of the alphabet. The Z will be on Friday. If you like a word you like to get a word into my message, it has to begin with the letter Z. And then I'll get that into the message on Friday. And we got a bonus Glue Monday coming up next Monday, which will be the final alphabet series, because when we had the letter S, we had so many people put words in the thread on that day that we said, you know what, let's make a new message with the letter S. But normally what's going to happen is that your message, you put it in the thread right now, letters that begin with the letter Z, and then I'll get them into the message on Friday. They don't have to have, you could put zebra, I will work it in. That becomes the fun, and that becomes the literacy lesson about the whole thing. Because then what happens is, is that I teach the method that I use of the words that you give me become what I call a word bank. And you can use this if you want to write a poem, an essay, a resume, a cover letter, anything. But you put words in the bank. You say, I want to make sure I get these words in. And then when you get stuck for, what do I need to say? You go see if there's a word in your bank that now can go into your message. And the words in the bank don't necessarily have to be the exact words you use. Like, for instance, where I just joked and said, if you put with the letter Z and you put zebra, I might not get zebra in, but it might make me think of how people see things sometimes in black and white, when life is so much about how we can look at things in the gray. Okay. See, so that's how you want to use your creativity. Let your mind flow. And that walks us right into what today's message is, because today's message is, why now? Why now? And so, and of course, today's message is brought to you by the letter Y. And so my Y is YMCA. Everybody knows the YMCA. And so what I always do, if this is your first time, is I always make sure I have on a t-shirt that represents the letter that was in the glue alphabet. Once I do my programs once we do it through with the gas series, my t-shirts, whatever I wear actually will still represent what my message is, because that's what you have to recognize, is that your full self becomes a part of your message. All right. So it goes down to even what you're wearing, even though, and like some people say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Yes, you do. But what happens is your second chance may not be the one that you need, and it may not be as good as the first. So, watch the cliches that you use in your life and make sure that you find meaning in them and make sure that they work for you. I'm trying to click all of these things that keep popping up because they're getting in my way of my comment box, the chat box, as I see. Okay, there we go. Yearnings. But no, today is already the why, Zani. So if I can get yearnings in there now, I will, but the message is written. So the words you put in the feed is always for the next message. So the next message is Z. So let's go on with today's message, okay? All right, so today's message is why me? Yesterday, and here are your words, your why words, and they're in the description there. Your why words today are youth, which 2 people gave me the word youth. Yesterday, Yahweh, Yonder, yield, and Yippie. So now when I get those words in the message, I won't say, oh, there's one of the words. But if it's your word that you gave or the ones that you just heard, you'll say, oh, there's that word. What that does, that helps you become a better listener, because now you know the words to listen for. Even if you're not consciously sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for that word, it'll click. And that becomes a good lesson in listening. Okay. Hey, good, Holly. I'm glad you jumped on right in time. Zealous. Okay. But so yesterday, I had a hard time holding on to today's message. You see, I kept wondering and wanting to go live yesterday and say what I chose to wait to say today. Why? Well, I decided that there were enough other people's words to share and highlight yesterday, as well as I had so many different things running through my spirit that I wanted to rest and let them settle and have the power that they deserve. See, sometimes you want to just rest and let your words or your feelings have the power that they deserve. Because as I see myself as a legitimate messenger and as a follower of God, I know that what I say has impact. If you look at my logo, my company is called The Top Line, and the top line, not the bottom line, the top line is how I feel affects other people. And that's the same power each and every one of you has, each and every one of us. Your feelings, our feelings, impact somebody else. So therefore, it becomes incumbent upon us to do the best we can to control those feelings, because that's something that somebody else is going to walk away with, live with, be in the moment with. And that's, so self-control has always been an important thing. So that's why yesterday, as much as we are talking about, we're talking about racism because I want to talk about racism, and as I decided, well, you know what? This is some other messages. This is my forum. It's my turn to talk about it today in this forum, and that's just a decision that I had to make. But here's the messages kept going through my mind. But here's one of the toughest messages that went through my head. I believe that we need to take race out of racism in order for us to cure it. Okay? Because when we take race out of racism, we can have conversations that lead to solution more so than conversations. See, we need conversations that lead to solutions, not just conversations. And because color is really not the problem. See, that's why I say take race out of racism. Talking about race is not the key. Color is not the problem. You know what the problem is? It's the ism. See, I have to play with words. It's the ism. It's not the race. It's the ism in racism. And the ism is ISM, ignorance, stupidity, and madness. That's the ism. And you say, well, why aren't all of those the same? Yes, they are, especially when they run over and pile up, and then they rotate to where the ism is ISM, insecurity, senselessness, and misery, which loves company. So here's today's poem that I'm going to read to talk about, to show you why we can take the race out of racism. And I wrote this poem way back yonder in 1998. 1998. This poem is still relevant. And it's just to show you that race isn't the culprit. But this poem is about someone that we're all familiar with. It's about Rosa Parks. And it's called Holy Rosa. Didn't we mention that the bus was only the beginning? For this movement meant much more than a ride. The strength in this woman was her obedience, yet her spirit was motivated by her pride. Pride made a comment to wisdom. Ask it, how necessary was it to lay low? Wisdom was no fool. It said, I'll go with you. Just promise me that you'll take it slow. So they worked their way to the front of the bus, these two, pride and wisdom. They made no pause as others watched and warned. And as they sank into that seat, that moment became everlasting, for never had authority been so scorned. Fitting that her name was Rosa, for she rose above the pain that held so many back. The pain that says slavery is mental, and its favorite color never has been black. Slavery's favorite color has always been ignorance. Ignorance somehow continues to erase love. As you take your ride in this lifetime, be smart. Make sure the driver of your bus is up above. That's Holy Rosa. So let me ask you, is your driver up above? And do you know his name? You see, yesterday I posted a scene from the 10 Commandments and made the joke of calling Moses Charlton Heston, which is probably whose face comes up every time we hear the word Moses, right? But I posted that and I said, do you remember Moses? But okay, slow down, Sporty. I posted the scene from the 10 Commandments and made the joke of calling Moses Charlton Heston. But do you remember the first name that God supposedly revealed to Moses as his name was Yahweh, which was 4 Hebrew consonants, YHWH, Yahweh, and that's called the tetragrammaton. Yeah. I'll need to spell that one, the tetragrammaton, all right? Although Christian scholars after the Renaissance and Reformation periods used the term Jehovah for Yahweh. And in the 19th and 20th century, biblical scholars began to use the form Yahweh. Use that form instead of Yahweh. Now, I highlighted that research because biblical scholars and believers and followers will have many names for God. Okay? But what they all agree on is how powerful he is and how you can only know him according to your faith. One of the thoughts that went through my mind yesterday is that I pray, listen to this, I pray that every Black person has a white friend or friends who they know without a doubt is not a part of the ism, the ignorance, the stupidity, and the madness. And I want to give you the formula for how you can know that your white friend is not a part of the ism. But the formula is actually coming from a biblical reading. And I'm in my book just ripped up, but that's a good sign when your Bible tears apart. That means that you're using it. But my formula is coming from the book of Daniel. And it's coming from Daniel 3:15 through 18. Listen to this. I will give you one more chance. Oh, by the way, this is the king talking to Daniel, and we know, most of us know the story of Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, and those were Daniel and his friends who the king wanted to throw into the fire because they didn't bow to him, to his gods, and so that was what this conversation was about. So he said to him, "I will give you one more chance. If you bow down and worship the statue I have made, when you hear the sound of the musical instrument, all will be well. But if you refuse, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace. What God will be able to rescue you from my power then?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty. But even if he doesn't, your majesty can be sure that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up." And the focus is on that line. I heard Pastor Otis Moss III of Trinity United Church of Christ, who I used to belong to in Chicago. He on June 29th, 2008, he gave the sermon from that passage, and it was, "But even if he doesn't, your majesty can be sure that we will never serve your God." But the key word, yeah, I know what my God will save me, but even if he doesn't, I'm still not going to worship your God. So how does that work over to the formula for us? This is what I say to you. When I say, I hope you have white friends who aren't a part of the ism, well, here's my formula. Even if they are a part of the ism, I'm not. See, I know what kind of a friend I am. That's what I control and can guarantee and trust to believe in. I've got many white brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews. I know how I feel about them. I believe how they feel about me. So I avoid sweeping the conversation, where people say, "Oh, white people, Black people, cops, young, old, women, men." I don't sweep any of them into those conversations because I know that I have white friends. I know it. I have white friends who are not a part of the ism, the ignorance, the stupidity, the madness. But I have to know that I'm not a part of it so that I can know that they're not. And that's what I'm saying. That's the same thing that Daniel said to Nebuchadnezzar. He says, even if God doesn't save me, I'm still not going to do what you asked me to do. So that's the formula, my Black friends. I pray that you have white people in your life that are not a part of this ignorance. But even if you don't know it, know that you're not a part of it. Because we need to stop saying white people this, police this, women that, men that. We need to stop saying that, because let me roll that into you and say to you, and taking it back to race, I see color. I'm not a person that says, "Oh, no, I don't see color." I see color. But what I see more I see the person behind the color. I see people. And that's what the key is. We have to see color. We have to, whether it's the color of the uniform. Come on, think about it. When professional teams play, they have a different color on to signify who's what team. And then really, when you really get into it, it has evolved, but it used to be that the home team wore white and the visiting team wore the color. And then some teams switch that up and they say, well, look, we're having this, so you wear this color. But and the referees, they don't say foul Golden State, they say foul white. They go by the color. So I see colors, but I see people more importantly than I see colors. And if you've got the right people in your life, it's because you are the right person. Like attracts like, y'all. Opposites don't attract. Like attracts like. Are you really a friend to your white friends? If then you can expect that they should be the same to you. Are you really a friend to a cop, a fireman, a first responder, a woman, a man, a young, old person? Are you that friend? Like I said, my nephew said to me, I'm so proud of you, Uncle Sporty, that you still try to learn stuff, because he's seen too many old people decide, hey, I don't know this. I don't know why he said that, but I'm still a part of that. And so I don't use sweeping comments, just like I did the zebra example. We can't live in black and white. We have to live in gray. We have to live in the possibilities. And the only way for you to live in the possibilities is to be one of the possibilities, and let you be one of the solutions. You have to be one of the solutions. Because when someone asks me how many children I have, my first response is usually none, but not many. Because see, besides my maternal nieces and nephews, I've raised my younger brothers. I helped raise every child that my mother helped raise, bringing it into the apartment. I've volunteered. I've mentored. I've coached. In fact, and many of them are now my Facebook friends. I call them my grown-ups now. And some of you on this broadcast know I call you grown-ups, because I saw you from young, and I have had a part in raising you. And guess what? You've had a part in raising me, because we have to learn from both ends. A parent is teaching a child how to grow while learning from the child how to raise a child. So, so it's, that's the back and forth that we have to constantly see, one person at a time. And it's a hard concept, because it's one of those things that we can talk about, but can be difficult to live. It can be difficult to live. Real talk. I want to click that up there. Alyssa said it. I had a quick blast to look at that. Okay. But that's the key. All right. So here's what I want to say. One of my guys who I met and coached in high school, in his high school year in 1990, is now a youth pastor I believe it's Naperville or Downers Grove. It's a suburb of Chicago. And here's what he posted yesterday, right around the same time that he texted me to tell me that he loved me. He texted me to tell me he loved me, but he posted on his site, and I want y'all to check out his site. I'm going to put his site in there. He said, his site post says, I understand that I will never understand, but I see you, I hear you, I mourn with you, I stand with you, and I will fight with you. Nothing should ever come between us. And then when he texted me, he says, it breaks my heart to live in a world like this, Coach. And see, here he is, a grown man, and he still calls me Coach. And that's what I'm saying to y'all. Think about it. This is one of my, and I'm only using the cliche term to get the point. One of my white friends. This is somebody. This is a person who I know is not a part of the ism. So you can't get me to sweep white people into the problem. That's why I'm taking the race out of racism, because it's only the ignorant, the stupid, and the mad people that are the problems. It's not the race. So I understand what I will never understand, but I can see you, I hear you, I mourn with you, I stand with you, and I will fight with you. Nothing should ever come between us. And then he said, it breaks my heart to live in a world like this, coach. And I repeat that because my response to him, part of my text back with him was, hey, Sip, CIP, I call him Sip. Don't focus on the world. Focus on the Creator. This world has never been at full peace. Don't focus on the world. Focus on the Creator. We have never been at full peace. And that's why we have to make sure that we have our focus on the joy that we bring rather than the madness that's brought to us. So I'm going to put his link in there and I'll post it after the broadcast as well. And I ask that you go to his page and like it. So to help him continue to do some of the good work that he does, because that's what he does. Meanwhile, that's my message to my Black friends, my message to my white friends. Don't ask your Black friends what you should do or what you can do. You see, we don't know. We don't know. What we do know, similar to what I just said, what we do know is what I was talking to one of my white little sisters about, and that is that you don't have to take the weight of the world's history on your shoulder. What has happened has happened. You don't have to take the weight of that on your shoulder. Here's what I wrote to her. I said, we are each responsible for our peace. And I put PEACE, peace of real estate and mind. Not just our peace of mind, peace of real estate and mind. When we sincerely want to make a difference and be part of the solution, we have already contributed to the process. We must then release the full burden of seeing the result and being responsible for the outcome. I twisted and turned about the message I want to deliver tomorrow on my platform. I have also not fully decided to wait until tomorrow. I am in prayer for hearing God's ordering of my next step. Your message was part of his answer. As I sat down to write and respond to you, I felt better about what I must do to help. Thank you for posting the petition. See, so she wrote me this, inboxed me a message about, let's say, 6 o'clock. And I have just finished posting the thing about, go sign the petition for George Floyd. And what I loved about it was the fact that when I signed the petition, it said they were at 111% of their goal. And I think the goal was 3 million signatures. And they were at 111% of their goal. And if everybody that went and signed that petition, you took it up another level. Because then a couple of hours later, I went and checked the petition again. They were at 112%. I'm going to check it again today. I want to see where they are. But just her asking me, and this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying, when I say don't ask, I'm not shunning my white family. I'm thanking them. Because when you ask, I know that you are part of the solution. So you don't need to take that guilt upon yourself that you're a part of the problem. You're not. I did not sweep you into the white people box because you haven't swept me into the Black person box. I didn't sweep my police officer friends and my National Guard friends into the law enforcement that hates and that's, doing nonsense. Because and you notice I brought in my National Guard because, see, I speak with the Yellow Ribbon Reintegration Program. I got a lot of family now in my military. And even the post that you saw that I got from somewhere else, I shared from somewhere else, of the officers who were taking a knee in support of the protests. They're people. They're not all ignorant. Yes, I fully agree that the 3 who were with the officer who put his neck on George Floyd, yes, I agree. Those 3 are guilty, because one of them should have said, hey, stop. And you know what? I saw a joke on somebody's site a few weeks ago where they showed reversing the roles, where it was a white man and his son driving through a Black neighborhood, and 2 Black cops pulled them over and harassed them for being white. So it was just a parody, and the tables turned. But it showed the other black officer, seeing that his partner was getting out of control, and he said, "Hey, calm down." and let me tell you, now I'm thinking about the scenario as it went on. He couldn't calm his partner down, and his partner ended up shooting and killing the young boy, which is what we see happening to our black brothers and sisters and in the stories that we hear. So we don't actually fully know that any of those three didn't try to stop him. That has to come out. But if they didn't, just like even if they didn't, then they're part of it. So that part, again, see, that's where the, calmness has to come in. The facts do have to come out, y'all. Don't just jump that. This is what happened. Those four were a group. No, maybe somebody tried to stop him, and maybe the other two stopped him. There's a formula. He is definitely guilty. I'm not going to go on and on about that, because no one is fighting in question. But let's go back to dealing with the justice and the injustice that we're looking at. We saw police officers take a knee in support of what was going on. And so that becomes part of the beauty and the brotherhood that we all have to have. Injustice ultimately is not about just us. It touches so many more people and parts of our lives. We're important pieces of one another's puzzle. Life is about going from one puzzle to the next. You're either a small, medium, or large piece of every puzzle in your family, social, and business relationships. Yet, no matter what puzzle piece size you see yourself as, without you, the puzzle is incomplete. So don't cast your puzzle pieces into the box. Recognize that you are the connection that they may need to come out of the box. On history.com, there's a column called Ask Steve, where he talks about the Youth International Party, whose members were commonly called Yippies. This was an American, radically youth-oriented and countercultural revolutionary offshoot of the free speech and anti-war movement of the 1960s. Yippies were hippies who were politically active. It could be said that these groups had a profound impact on society, even more than some politicians who you now know you need to vote out. But that's also why you don't stop the peaceful protest, because you have to show your voice to have it heard. But it could be said that these groups had a profound impact on society, even more than some politicians, because by the 1970s, everybody was a hippie, making it mainstream. So that's who the Yippies were. And we are in that boat as well. So let's believe, like they did, that we can influence the rebirth of ISM, ISM, as intelligent, spiritual messengers. Intelligent, spiritual messengers. That's the ism that needs to be connected to race. As we take responsibility for our having the right conversation, let's take responsibility for our having the right conversation, sometimes by stopping the conversation that we're in. Let's make sure that we know that we control our valuing of the people and situations in our lives. And even if they don't value us the same way, we won't stop believing in ourselves and how we impact. And finally, choose your messengers carefully so that you can yield the greatest return of love. That's the ism that we need. That's the ism that we need. Let's take the race out of the ignorance, the stupidity, and the madness. Because as it said in the poem Holy Rosa, race has never been slavery. What did I say? I can't always quote myself, especially slavery has never always been about Black people. Okay, let me quote it so I don't make up something. Okay, now I got to find the page. That was quick. Here we go. Okay. Slavery's I think this is a great way to close. Slavery's fitting that her name was Rosa, for she rose above the pain that held so many back. The pain that says slavery is mental and its favorite color never has been black. Slavery's favorite color has always been ignorance. Ignorance sometimes continues to erase love. As you take your ride in this lifetime, be smart. Make sure the driver of your bus is up above. Thank you. God bless you. Find a way to peacefully protest, but know that you are a part of the solution, because that's really our choice is you're either a part of the solution or you're a part of the problem. I would much rather know that I'm a part of the solution. And I know that I won't necessarily be there when the problem is solved. Even going back to that clip I did of Moses. Moses, and in fact, on my last week, one of my messages last week, I asked, are you Moses, Caleb, Joshua, or are you just one of the other Israelites? See, Moses was the old generation. He knew that he wasn't going to get to the promised land, but he never stopped encouraging people to say, come on, this is where y'all need to go. Let my people go. Follow me, my people. We're going to be all right. Caleb was one of the 2 of the 10 spies, scouts that went in to check out the promised land and see if it's one that they could inhabit. And he came back and he said, man, let's go do it. We can do it. But 8 of the other scouts said, no, they're giants. We can't beat them. They're going to kill us. Caleb and Joshua both said, no, we can take the land. Well, they were outvoted. So the Israelites' belief shrunk. Meanwhile, Joshua's job was to take over for Moses, because he now had to let them join them in wandering 40 years, which was not in the original plan. 40 years till that generation died off. That generation that didn't believe, that didn't trust in God. They had to die off. And now he was responsible for taking Caleb's message of we can do this and Moses's message of y'all can do this, and helping them see that, yes, we can. So the Israelites, just the regular Israelites, didn't believe. They didn't trust, because they wanted the instant satisfaction. They said, better we should have died in Egypt, where we could have been eating luxurious food and living, blah, blah. Come on, y'all. We may not be here to see how this all gets turned around, but we've got to believe that it will. And that's where it becomes so important for us to uplift our kids and believe in them. Not enable them, but empower them to make the difference that they are here to make, because they're going to make it. You weren't supposed to make it, and you did. Thank y'all so much for joining me in this message. I'm going to close the message out now for anybody who needs to go, but I am going to keep our little tradition that we just started a couple of weeks ago. I'm just going to go through the feed and see if I can just, make some comments to the chat box. But why now was our topic. Why now? Because it is now. Thanks. God bless you. And remember, glue. God's love undoes everything. See you on Friday. Barry, it was good to see you, man. Take me back to college days. Yeah, all right. Thank you. Yes, I did go to college. People don't know I didn't stay in there. Thank you for the condolences, Anise. Yeah, it's one of my spiritual families. It's the Turners. My good friend Joyce and her aunt Nay was a hilarious. But and you know how they say death comes in threes? She had 2 family members die last week. Neither one of them coronavirus. P.S. by the way, let's wake up to that. Coronavirus ain't the only thing that's killing people. People are still dying from other things. So let's stay safe and let's be conscious. Okay, definitely. I'll get zealous in there. I hope since I don't know if this thing is going to let me see the stream. I better write the words down. So I can make sure. Hey, what's up, Roger Carroll? And thank you. I love it when, I hope y'all saw this. Oh, I let me put that up there. I don't know if y'all saw that in the chat. I don't know how y'all are seeing the chat box, but hey, Sporty and friends, that's all. Yeah, we family, y'all. We can all say hello to each other. I love it. I love it. Hey, Alyssa, thank you. Yeah, it's good that one of my new friends turning it in. All right. Yeah, Zest. Okay. Just in case I don't get to see the chat box and see all these words. Great points. I need help. You're back on the show doing part 2. See, and this is the beauty. This is a friend of mine I just met on through a class we're taking, And y'all, we have to be willing to work together. You have to ask for help. And they say you have not because you ask not. Okay, what is somebody done hit me with it. Oh, and that figure Zanis and zealotry, which is okay. But I'm still gonna put even Zanis in the message. I'm getting your name in there, my sister. Y'all need to look at that word she put in there on me. Absolutely. Okay, Alyssa, real talk. Yep, love. Like attracts like. Thank you. Yeah. Opposites don't attract. Like attracts like. Okay, our creator is a lover of colors. Yes, it's created with colors. Yes, God created the colors. We didn't say, "Oh, I think I'll be." No, God made us the colors. So why would we think that there's something wrong with the colors? God made us the colors. I appreciate that. Yeah, listen all day, but thank you. I know I'm not supposed to. Woo! Today's right on time. Yes, it's always on time. And yes, Roger, choose joy, y'all. It is a choice. It is a choice. Look at God. Sanis, my aunt is a white woman. Remember the 60s, praying for our human, yes, human family. And then I got a friend who writes human, HUE-MAN, human, because we all made of different hues, but we're all in it together. I love it. The truth, peace. Yes, peace equals piece of real estate and mine. Thank you. That was one of my. I was excited when I came up with that one too. Loving our brothers. See, y'all. This is the spirit that we need to keep on bringing out. That's what it's really about. And we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. All right. Like the Yippie. Yes. I don't even remember who gave me. In fact, I do remember Patrick. See, I got to give a shout out to my girl. She calls me. What did she call me? I think she just calls me her mentor or whatever. And when I saw her put Yippie in this feed, I laughed. Because you know what? Again, sometimes, it's like Yippie, but that's what you got to do. Control your vocabulary. Don't let your vocabulary control you. That's the essence of my business. Don't back off from it. Say, okay, let's find out what that means. And that's why I say don't force, don't let a word only have one meaning. I had to go research Yippie. I had to go research Yahweh. That's the thing. Y'all are stretching me just like I'm stretching you. Okay, what is that? Loveism? That's your new word, loveism. Okay, I like it. See, it's an ism. I love it. Okay, that's it on the comments. Oh, man. It's a difficult time in our life, y'all, and we can all stay human and learn to become humans because we do. Yeah, we have to learn to become human and more human during this difficult time in our lives. Thank you for joining the broadcast. God bless you. And I'm pretty sure this thing will let me continue to post it as a video. In fact, I know it will. I've seen it on other people's sites. It was not. Oh, you were on my first with me. Thank you. Over and out. Love y'all. Oh, one more thing. Pray for my safety. Today is Monday. Whatever time you're watching this, I have a live speaking engagement on Tuesday morning, Tuesday at 11. I trust the people where I'm speaking. I trust them for the safety effort standards that they're going to put in place. It's a small group. So, so I'm trusting them because I do trust who they are. Okay. So it's a step, but I still, pray for my safety. And I thank you for praying for it as well. God bless you. Over and out. Ciao.